We're live. We're live. And we've already got people here. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for being here today. Hopefully I've tried to work on resolving my issues from the last live stream, and hopefully my Wi-Fi will be working a little bit better this time. Won't be running into the issue of the video being cut out and choppy. I went back and watched it, and I realized I was not in love with the way that it was coming out. And hopefully I've solved that this week. And I would like for you guys to let me know if that's in fact the case. Don't mind me just adjusting my microphone levels to make sure they're working out all right. So what are we doing today? Well, Don asked me about what today's topic was, and today's topic is about the lessons that I wanted to share, that things that pop up during gigs. I would not say that they were, hey, Justin, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here today. So basically what I'm trying to say is that the knowledge that I have made this week of gigs run a lot smoother than it could have been. I was already extremely busy and working hard this week. Been doing a lot of shows, and it's been great. And don't get me wrong, but there were a number of problems that came up, as they always do in any show. There are always things that go wrong or whatever, and it's your job to be the one who has the plan, who can fix the problem, who just rolls with it and doesn't have to worry about things. It made my life so much easier that I had knowledge and experience to guard me against some pitfalls that could have really messed me up this week. And then there were some things that that messed me up anyway. So I want to talk about those things and then answer any questions you guys have, either about any of the Scam Nation episodes I've done recently, or my How to Fan tutorial. I want to get some feedback from that directly if you guys have seen it. Been putting some work into those, so I want to see what you guys have to say. We're at 10:02. See, I got my Coca-Cola. You notice the theme here? See this? See this right here? This white and red. I wonder where that was inspired from. Actually, I've got some questions about that too. I've been asked about where my shirt came from, and or not just the shirt, but the logo and the design and all that kind of stuff, where that all evolved. And there's actually a lot more symbolic stuff hidden in it than most people realize. And I'd be curious if anybody knows why I chose a white and red color scheme. If you know, I'll be really impressed. But yeah, if you do, either say so in the live chat or leave a comment on this video if you think you know where. And if you get it right, I'll send you something special. Also, I forgot to, Justin, thank you for your feedback on the fan video. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was, I've been going for a little bit more of a dark cinematic style with the instructional videos. I don't know if it's working out and if you guys are liking it. People seem to enjoy it. I've got some nice feedback in the comments on that video. Somebody said, "Hey, it's a really great video for such a small channel." And I was like, well, what does that mean? Like, I mean, thank you. I think it was meant as a compliment, but it's also, I'm trying to give you guys quality stuff, and why wait to start trying? It's, if I have the ability to do it now, I should be doing it now, because that's going to not only reflect better on me, it's going to show you that I have the respect for your time that you guys give me, and it's going to help me stand out from other channels. So it's the same thing with a magic career. You don't start doing good magic when you start getting paid for paid equivalent to that. You should always put out the best product you can, always, no matter how big or small you are, or how much you get paid to do it. Even if you do it for free. I do what do you call them, like networking events, or I go to if they have like a vendor showcase or something. I don't do a lot of them because I don't need to anymore, but every once in a while, if it's a friend of mine who's having it, or a venue that I work with that's having it, and I'm there and I go and I'm entertaining people. I'm doing it for free, but at the same time, it's also an advertisement for me, for people to hire me for events. I'm having one-on-one contact there. So why would I go, well, I'm not getting paid to do this, I'm going to do a crummy job instead? That's terrible. You don't want to do that. So I am not the best videographer in the world. I'm not the best color grader. I'm not the best visual artist. I'm not the best sound guy. I'm a very jack of all trades, master of none kind of person when it comes to this YouTube stuff. And hopefully, I can keep elevating the quality of it as time goes on, and more on that later. But I've got to try. I've got to do my best. And so I hope that's what you guys feel in every video I'm putting out, that I'm giving you the very best that I can, given the budget limitations, the time limitations, the knowledge limitations, which is often one of the biggest ones. But I'm going to give you guys the best thing that I possibly can every single time. I could just use my standard MacBook webcam or stream on my phone, but instead I'm trying to use much better audio equipment, much better camera, lighting. I have a whole light here so that it doesn't look grainy. Like, there are things I can do that with a little bit of effort and a little bit of thought that can elevate the videos. So I should always. Oh, It's here. What's up, It? How you doing, man? And Justin, you did great. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's been a learning process. If you go back and just I came back to YouTube maybe, I think it was 8 months ago now. I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years. I mean, almost since YouTube became a thing. And if you look at my early videos, I was already worrying about trying to get better video quality and stuff. And I remember making a video about like finally moving to HD quality, because it wasn't common then, and it wasn't in everybody's phone. And I went from that, and I bought a Sony Handycam to shoot my YouTube videos. It was like $300 at the time, and that was a lot of money. I was a poor college student, but I did it because I wanted to upgrade the quality, and it's always something that I want to do, is always want to put out the best thing I can. But you also notice, like in the old ones, I have like a green, like literally it's a green tablecloth, a green tablecloth from the dollar store that I taped to a wall, and not even well. And I wasn't even zoomed in, and I hardly used the green screen half the time. Not what I would call the best. I've tried to, there's a vision in my head for what I want this to look like. I want people to feel like they just bought some Illusionist or Theory 11 video, and that's what they're watching, and wondering if they're watching something that was a copy of, like if it was like some kind of like leaked video or something from one of those channels or one of those products. That's my vision. I want to give you guys stuff that just blows your mind with the quality of it. And I'm getting there. I'm working on it. There's stuff that I'll never, well, I don't say never, but we'll have a long journey to try to do. So Justin 2 Card says that's exactly my setup. Robert said something about Amazon. Okay. Got kind of screwed by Amazon on the webcam I bought. False advertised. Well, that's what I get for buying the recommended affordable cam because I'm short on funds. Robert, I'll tell you the camera that I'm using right now, that is just a workhorse of a camera. I mean, heck, I use this for live streams, and I've considered in a pinch using this for videos, like actually filming a video through it, because it's not bad at all. This is the Logitech C920. Now it's like 60 or 70 bucks, and it's like, oh Jesus, that's a lot for a webcam, but it's really good. It even comes with a separate app to adjust the stuff. I'm sorry that the one that you got from Amazon crapped out. I'm always nervous about buying stuff from Amazon, especially if it's from a company I haven't heard of. In fact, on that topic, I have a my secondary camera, my Sony Handy, or not my Sony Handycam, my Sony NEX6. It's the second, or the B-roll camera that you saw in a couple of videos now. it uses a different mounting system. If you know anything about cameras, it uses this different mounting system for the lenses. They attach in different ways, and they have different shapes and different pinouts, so they're not interchangeable with different companies. And I have my big boy, my Canon, my primary camera, which is a fabulous camera, but it won't work with my Canon lenses on the Sony unless you get an adapter. The high-priced adapters that work with giving you all the electronics and all the image stabilization and all the autofocus, they cost like $300-400, and I'm like, screw that for an adapter. And I came across one called Movo, which is like $30, and I've got like a maybe it's worth a try. Even at that price, it might be worth it if it works, but I'm stuck in that trap right now. If you guys hear some crying in the background, I got my son keeps getting out of bed. I've been trying for about an hour to put him to bed, so I'm having a hard time there. But if you guys will forgive that, it'll be a little bit distracting. But yeah, mommy should put him to bed back there pretty soon. Yeah, phones do have great quality. I found Justin's talking about phones having great quality video, and it's true, they really do. They're not bad at all. The thing that I found, and call me a interchangeable lens snob now, but one thing that I found out is when I moved to my Canon, it's a T5i, so it's quite an older camera, but it still does the job. Something I found out is that there is a difference whenever you like zoom in on the pixels. You're going to see a big difference whenever you're taking photographs and video, how much grain and noise that that smartphone cameras have. You also can't like control the depth of field, and I mean, there's some limitations that you'll never get over with one of these cameras. One of the big reasons there's such an advantage is, one, you can change the lenses out to be whatever you want them to be, but the other one, and have complete manual control over your camera. But the other one is, you have to think about the size of the image sensor and how much information it's gathering. Behind a phone camera, right there, the sensor is behind that lens, and so it can't be any larger than the lens, right? So it's about like a quarter of my pinky nail in size. Okay. Now, if you think about a DSLR has like an APS-C sensor has a sensor about the size of a postage stamp. So you want to go quarter of a pinky nail or postage stamp. You're getting a lot more information, light, dark, color, all of that. You're getting a lot more whenever you use a DSLR or a mirrorless camera with a larger sensor than you are a phone. And phones are great, but that's why I decided to go with a dedicated. In fact, whenever I started the channel back, I used a phone, and then I went over to getting a dedicated camera. The other thing is, I use my phone all the time. I get work calls on it, all kinds of things. I silence my phone whenever I'm filming videos, or turn my phone off completely so I don't get interruptions. If I'm filming and the thing goes off, that's always obnoxious, So for a lot of reasons, I decided to do that. I'm also the person who owns a Kindle, right? And some people are like, what the heck do you need a Kindle for? Can't you read on your phone? Yes, you can. But, I like those dedicated devices because they're built for that thing, So they're going to do it better than something that tries to do a bunch of things all at the same time. Said 1080 by Robert's saying it was 1080 by 720, only shoots at 480. That is some hot freaking garbage, Robert. Are you going to return it? I would totally return it and say, hey, look, this is false advertised. We had to do that with something we bought for our daughter just recently. It did not come out the way it was supposed to be in the picture, and we're like, this is not what you said it was, and we sent it back. I would definitely do that if you don't need it. Man, this autofocus is giving me a hard time. I'm going to be blurry for this video for a little while. I don't know why it's doing this. Just rock back and forth until it catches my face again. There it is. There it is. It says, if you want a more professional looking footage, I use my GoPro Hero 7. It has its problems. I'm really interested in the hyper smooth stabilization. that's been a really interesting thing for me. I was like, well, heck, maybe if I start doing some vlogging or something. They have like this little cage that you can connect to it now, and it's got the microphone and a light and all these things, and it's hyper smooth stabilized, so you can just hand hold it. You don't have to worry about getting a gimbal and all that stuff. They're pretty attractive too. It's something I've considered looking at. Yeah, Justin says I get a lot of messages when I try to record. Yeah. It's like it's like, oh, like everybody found out that you were recording at the same time and wants to mess with you, you know? I don't know why you guys are going to get seasick probably, but I don't know why this is not wanting to focus on my face, and it's kind of annoying. There we go. Magic. I fixed it. Robert says I would, but I have to wait for a long bleep time. It was shipped directly from China. I'm sorry, Robert. Well, I'll tell you my experience though is that like for instance, this I don't know if you live anywhere near a Whole Foods or like an Amazon hub or anything like that. We do, and actually, I'm really close to one now because they just installed one in our apartment complex. So soon I won't have to even go as far as Whole Foods. But when we returned it for the product that we got in the mail, we opened it up and went, nope, this is not right. This is not what we need. This is not what was represented on the website. We just printed off a little sheet that had like a barcode on it, slapped it to the outside. I took it to Whole Foods, the Amazon hub. They took it back and they refunded us like within 2 hours of having received it. So they return your money really quickly. You don't have to wait for it to go all the way back to China for you to get your money back. They should refund that if you take it through an Amazon hub and do it that way through the Amazon return process. You should get your money back same day. So I would consider taking a look at that. You certainly want it. I've been in positions where I've like bought something and then went, nope, this isn't it. And then I have to try to return it, but I can't return it. And then I got to buy the other thing. And now I'm out for the crummy thing and also the new thing that I actually should have just bought in the first place. And it's always a sucky place to be. But Amazon has made it really easy. So I would recommend investigating that and see if you can't fix the problem easier than you think. If you guys are just joining us, thank you so much for being here. Don, who I don't think is here yet, he hasn't chimed in yet, but he had asked me about the topic, so he'll at least get to see this on the replay of this later. If he's not watching it live, he will see it later. So Don, this is for you. You wanted to talk about, or you wanted to know what I was talking about, and I think this would be especially interesting to you because of the work that you're into right now. But you want to ask me what this live stream was about. This live stream is about the lessons I have learned in previous years that have saved my butt in the last week. And I really want to share that with you guys because I think it's important knowledge to get anywhere else. And it will save you guys such a headache and problems that really the way most people learn is they just have to have some really sucky shows or some really sucky situations happen to learn not to do it next time. But I'm going to save you guys a little bit of headache there. The first one here, I have these written down because I want to make sure I didn't forget them. Let me grab those over here. Oh, hey, y'all, happy Valentine's Day, too. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah, so this was one. Something I wanted to bring up. It reminded me of, I didn't have this situation happen to me, but it was something that could have happened. And I did a show I did a corporate show on Wednesday night. And long story short, I got booked through an entertainment agency, even though I didn't really need to be, which was kind of weird. But anyway, got booked through an entertainment agency, and the entertainment agency sent me a contract that said that I needed to be there an hour and a half before the start time for walk-around magic. And I thought that was really weird. And I didn't see why I needed to be there that early. And I was like, well, I don't know. you guys have told the client that now, so now the client's expecting me to be there at 5:30, even though there's no reason for me to be there at 5:30. And then I told the client I would be there at 5:30 because that's what the contract said. I got there and I really wasted an hour and a half of my time before we started, and then I went for 2 hours. So that was dumb. That was really dumb. So this is my first time working with this agency. I don't know, maybe they have a different call time, something. But in speaking with the booker, it turns out, Don, you're here. All right, man. I was just talking about you. Speak of the devil. So, long story short, if you get hired through a booking agency for walk around magic, for walk around close up magic, unless there's a really good reason, you really don't need to be there any more than 30 minutes. I'd say for your own self, be there about an hour early, 45 minutes early, just to make sure you have a bearing of where you are and you can allow yourself to fix, if you take a wrong turn and have to flip around or can't find parking or whatever the other problems are. You give yourself 45 minutes to an hour lead time, but you don't need to be there an hour and a half early. That's just silly. So call and check if they say you need to be there like more than a half an hour early. Call and check. I should have done that and I didn't. So there's your first piece of advice. Do we have any questions? I want to make sure I'm also addressing you guys. Saying hello to everybody for being here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a crazy week, and I am glad that it's kind of winding down to a close. I have another gig tomorrow night about this time. I'm grateful that it ends up being tomorrow and not today, so that way we were able to do the live stream. But it's been a heck of a week. I've been doing a lot of big shows. I had that corporate event that I did. And then this morning, actually, I had a speech that I had delivered to Dallas ISD teachers. And that was interesting and a lot of work. And I want to tell you guys, there's some extra stuff too. I'm not going to make a big plug about this or anything, but we got our first Patreon patron. Thank you very much, Minnie. I appreciate it. You were the very first patron on the Magic Minute ever. You have that title forever. That is yours. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. The cool thing about Minnie is she's got some extra stuff. She's known about some behind the scenes stuff already and has some access to stuff that you can't find anywhere else, including what I'm trying to plan for this week, people I've been talking to, other magicians, and some behind the scenes stuff about the business side of magic. So she's really been enjoying that. And I invite you to, if you are interested, check it out, see what I have over there. There's that. I want to go into some more stuff about some other advice that I have for you guys, because I wrote these all down. I want to make sure that I had them for you. Oh, the other thing, when we're working with agencies or working through someone else, if someone else hired you to be there, like not the actual company or person or whatever, but like a third party hired you, don't hand out your business cards. This is something I see happen all the time that plagues magicians and, well, not just magicians, but all kinds of entertainers. They go to a gig and they go, hey, yeah, I could probably just slide my business card. Nobody will notice or it won't matter. And, somebody asked me for it, so I should have to give it to them. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you will immediately not only make sure that you never work with that agency again, but you will make sure that you won't work with any agencies in the area ever again, because they all talk and they all use each other. They all use the same, they have the smaller talent pool to draw from. So everyone talks to everyone else. And if you're found handing out your own business cards at one of these events and it's strictly forbidden, not cool. Even if it's not strictly forbidden, it's just bad form. If somebody wants your information, then what you do is you say, hey, look, my name is, in my case, Alan Paletti. If you want to book me, you have to do it through XYZ company. They're the reason I'm here, and I'm referring they handle all of my bookings and all of my inquiries. So here's their number. Here's the guy or the girl who handles most of my accounts. And you can give them a holler, and they'll be happy to book you or book me for you. I mean, Justin's already already letting people know about the Facebook and now the Patreon. The thing about the Patreon thing, I don't want it to be a thing. It's cool. I'm glad that I have it. It gives me a place to share more value, but I don't want to make it into a giant commercial where I expect people. I don't expect anybody to jump into it at all. I'm grateful, but I don't expect everybody just sign up for a Patreon now. I know people have different things going on. Either they're like, well, no, I don't know, I don't want to. They're either not completely on board or don't need all the different tiers that I have, or maybe it's just not financially feasible. It's not my place to really. I just mention it. It's there. Take a look at it. Got some cool stuff. Maybe you like it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Just says, I don't got a job just yet. Soon, though, when I get a reliable source of income, be sure to join me on Patreon. Well, thank you. I think you'll enjoy it. If you like the stuff that's on this channel, I think you'll really enjoy all the extra behind-the-scenes stuff that I can talk about behind the scenes. Yeah, I think Justin's responding here, too. He says it's bad manners, just like interrupting people's meals at restaurants. Yes. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. And that was a tough one for this corporate event that I just did, because they had like a buffet style meal, and people were filtering in about the same time I was supposed to start, and they all started grabbing food. Yeah, what I did is I said, hey, look, I went over to the organizer and the person who had the contact that had booked me or had booked me through several steps through a booking agency. And I told him, hey, look, you're going to see me standing around here for a second. I'm going to try to engage with people who aren't eating, but I'm not going to interrupt people while they're eating. I don't want to be interrupted when I'm eating, and I don't want to interrupt other people while they're eating. So know that I know what it would look like if you were wondering if I was doing anything or not. I am looking for opportunities to perform for people, but I'm going to hold off until they've got something to eat and they're done. So that way I'm not interrupting. So that was fine. And people would just, eat a couple of nachos or whatever it was. And then I'd go over and engage with them after they were done. But yeah, never interrupt people while they're eating. If you ever do restaurant magic, that's a big no-no. Never do it. It's not cool. It asks me, could you not use cards with agency's name on it and let them know this is how they can book you? You can. In fact, oftentimes, if you work a lot with an agency, they will make you your own business cards to hand out. You can say, hey, look, I want this headshot of this picture on the business card. Can you guys go ahead and print me some up? And they will. And then they will print them for you. So that's not a cost you have to incur. Because you have to remember this dynamic. This is extremely important. I need to state this. If you work with an entertainment agency, you do not work for the entertainment agency. You are not an employee of the entertainment agency. You are a third-party contractor. And really, the way that I look at it in a lot of cases is that they work for you. The agencies work for you. You don't work for the agency. And what I mean by that is they only make money by selling your talent to other people who want to buy it. Without you, they don't have a way to make money. They don't have those skills themselves. So you have to understand how that power structure works and how that dynamic works, because a lot of entertainers, they'll get into their heads they are working for the agency, and if I do a good job, the agency will like me and all these things. That's the wrong way to think about it. So the agencies, if they want to sell your services or they want to do that kind of stuff or whatever, it's not really on them. And in a lot of places, there's no problem. People just are happy to print you some business cards and have them sent out. You can, if you want to have more control over your business card that you hand out with the agency's information on it, yeah, check with the agency, make sure they're cool with it. That it has the right branding or right logo for them or whatever they want, information they want to include, or if they want to include a certain phone number or extension. Definitely important to check with the agency. But there's a lot to go in there. There's a lot of meat there. But this has to be for another time because I'll go too much into it and off topic. But yeah, that is perfectly acceptable. I used to work with an agency here here in this area in North Texas that would create my own business cards to hand out that had my information on it. Well, or had their information on it in my image, in my title on it. And that's totally fine. That's cool. I don't mind doing that. I hope I answered your question, It. Don says, have you ever went to a restaurant and did a magic show in the private room that they rent for ticket sales? If you have, do you rent the room and keep all of the ticket sales? Once I sign up for the Patreon, is it auto pay each month or do I pay manually each month? Thank you. Okay, so that's 2 questions. I'll answer them one at a time. First one is the restaurant, have I ever rented out a private room? So there's a couple of different ways to do this. And you're going to have to check me, or I'm going to have to check and get back to you on the correct term for each. But there's 2 walling and 4 walling. And these are the 2 common ways that you have a payment arrangement with a space. In one instance, the room is given to you, and then the venue takes a percentage of ticket sales, a large portion of ticket sales, and then you're given the rest, right? You're given a percentage of that. And then the other one is you rent the room, you pay for the like bar service or whatever in the room. You pay for all the things, and you pay them you pay them whatever that costs. And then if you make any money on top of that, whatever you get after you have paid your costs out to the venue, you get to keep in this then your profit. So those are the 2 big ways to do it: 2 walling and 4 walling. It's very common to see in Vegas. But no, I haven't. And that's not because that's not for lack of trying. There was a steak restaurant that I worked at for 2 years. It's a fine dining steak restaurant, very nice, $100 steak kind of place, and I worked very hard to try to create that. I was doing their wine dinners twice a month that I would just go around and walk around and entertain at the wine dinners. And that was cool and it was nice and everything. And made a little bit, and they paid me in food and that kind of stuff. But it was always my plan, and I was always working towards trying to get that, because they had 6 private dining rooms on 2 floors, and they were hardly ever all rented at the same time. And I thought, well, what the heck? You guys have an email list. Put a blast out there that there's going to be a magic show. It's going to be, like $150 a head. You guys get a catered meal or limited menu and wine and the magic show. And it's something cool for your guests and all this. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense dollars and cents wise. It makes a lot of sense for them to want to do it, to bring more people in, or to give their long-term clients a something new, to novel to come and check out. And I worked on it for 2.5 years, and I could not get it to come to fruition. And I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, I can't wait any longer. This is a fantastic waste of time. That being said, the people that I dealt with there, I genuinely enjoyed and love, and I still have a deep admiration and respect for them, and care for them very much. I have a good friendship, especially with one person there, but it just never happened, and I could never get it to happen, and it was just disappointment after frustration after disappointment. So I decided that I had better things to do, and decided to leave that. But yeah, you can make a lot of money doing that. You can make a fabulous amount of money doing that. You can, in a night, you can clear $2,000 and doing a show like that. So it's worth checking out. One thing you'll have to do is you'll have to go around and ask. You have to go to different restaurants, ask the general manager, say, "Hey, look, you got a private room. Are you renting it out this night? Is it likely that you'll rent it out this night? Do you rent it out ever? Is it kind of just sitting there in the back, and people only go into that room to dust it? Well, what about having that room make you some money? Because right now it's costing you money, and then go that way." It's always about, it's in business and of magic. It's always about how does this solve a problem for me? As this isn't sales, right? This is sales. What solution do you have to a problem that I have? And how you going to fix my problem? What's in it for me? understand that before you go in and talk about magic or try to sell your magic. Understand what problems you solve for your client, and it'll depend on your client, right? For a corporate audience, that's a very different set of problems that they need solved, as opposed to a mom who's trying to put on a birthday party for her kids. They have very different concerns and different things that you can offer to each of those different individuals. So you have to understand your audience and then build products and services that will fix the problems that they have. So you do that, you're good. So in a restaurant situation, what are the problems that the restaurants have? They have people who get in the weeds, right? The servers, you just get swamped with people, and dinner service is taking a long time. People are getting upset. Now the managers out having to comp meals because everybody's like, oh man, I was supposed to go check out that movie. We have tickets. The dinner's taking too long to come out. I'm getting upset, blah, blah, blah. Right. Okay. Well, instead of letting people worry about how much time is passing and sitting there looking at their watches and stressing out because it's taking an extra 5 to 10 minutes for the food to come out than it usually does, send over the magician, because the magician takes 5 to 10 minutes and will be able to cover that time, that turnaround time for the food to come out of the kitchen, and you'll be entertaining them, and they won't even worry about it. They won't even realize how much time has passed, and that restaurant just saved having to comp a meal, and probably saved the server their tip, right? Those kinds of things. So think about how you can create products that help your target market, target client. Let's see if I can. Oh, and then I think I answered that. And then Don, you also asked me about once a Patreon sign up for Patreon, is it auto pay each month or do I pay manually each month? I believe that you can do either. You can make a one-time donation to it, or you can what you do is it would be come out. I think it charges you per video. No, that's not right. Not right. I didn't set it up that way. I set it up as a monthly subscription. So it should just auto pay each month, and then you can cancel it anytime you want to. I think that's exactly how that works. There's a couple of different models, and I had a lot in my head when I was setting it up, so forgive me for being glib there. If you sign up for Patreon, which would be amazing, it auto debits each month. Wow. Sorry, my mouth gets really dry when I talk. I hate the idea that all you do all the work. Are you referring to? Oh, geez, come on! Don't disrupt me. I'm still having some Wi-Fi issues, guys. So